Hello students, we're going to take a moment here to learn about the factors of production. The factors of production are all the resources that you need to produce other goods and services. So societies and economies and countries all over the world look to accumulate as much or as many of these things as they possibly can. And if you can corral and use these things efficiently, your country will be much better off, your economy will be much better off, and you yourself will be much better off. And they include these five things. They include land, which we'll go into more depth in a little bit, labor, physical capital, human capital, and then the fifth we kind of compile entrepreneurship and technology in together, and we'll talk about why we do that as well. All right, the first factor of production is land, and land is everything that's created by acts of nature. Waters, minerals, oils, and gases, renewable energy. Those are all types of natural resources, and I mean it can be trees as well. It could be silica sand, which is used in the fracking process in the oil fields in Williston, North Dakota. But land is definitely necessary if you want to better your economic situation, your economy's situation, or societies. As an example, Minnesota has a number of natural resources that are available for its use. I mentioned previously silica sand, which is often found on the banks of rivers, most notably the Minnesota River, and you can see that there's some silica sand deposits along the Minnesota River. It's part of the reason why you see an uptick of traffic on 169, trucks, and also rail cars running through town quite frequently. Much of that traffic is due to the transportation of silica sand to oil ranges in places like Williston, North Dakota. But Minnesota is also known for obviously timber industry, nickel industry as well in northern Minnesota. If you go into the Iron Range, if you go to northwestern parts of Minnesota, we're known very well for sugar beet production as well. And then in southwestern Minnesota, we utilize a lot of wind energy in that part of the state as well. Another factor of production is labor, and this is really what we do at our jobs. It's all the human and physical effort that is put forth by workers in order to produce goods and services. So it could be white collar work, blue collar work. It could be you working at your job. It's me as a teacher. But for a society to be productive, you have to have good labor, and your labor has to be skilled, and we'll be talking about that as well. Physical capital is a third factor of production. We've talked about capital goods, and these are the same thing. These include all the machines, the buildings, the equipment and roads, everything that's made by human beings to produce other goods and services. Those are all types of physical capital. So physical capital might include things like the light rail line or the train systems that run in and out of metropolitan areas, including the one here that you see on this map that runs from St. Cloud all the way down to Minneapolis at Target Field. Physical capital, as we said, can also include all the buildings and infrastructure that surround your economy or your society. Prime example here in downtown Minneapolis would be the new U.S. Bank Stadium for the Minnesota Vikings. This is put there on purpose, obviously, not only to provide a home field for the NFL football team, but also to attract a number of other prospective individuals who may be looking to settle in the area. So Minneapolis alone, we have a number of theaters and restaurants that are known nationwide. We have some of the best infrastructure when it comes to roads and healthcare systems. We have the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. We have some of the best schooling systems as well in the nation. So people take these things into consideration when they choose where they want to live or where they want to have their jobs located. And Minnesota does a fantastic job of producing very efficient infrastructure, which is our physical capital. A fourth factor of production is human capital. Human capital is all the knowledge, the skills, the wisdom, the expertise that you and I gain through our experiences and through our education and through our jobs. Human capital is essential to have a highly skilled workforce. And again, Minnesota does a very good job of promoting human capital, and that can be seen in a number of different ways, but primarily through our educational and training services. This chart I threw in here to show just how important education really is. Um, Looking at the chart, it's obvious that you can see on the left-hand side that the more education that you have, the less likely it is that you'll be unemployed. So if you don't want to be living at home the rest of your life or with mom and dad and you want to be out on your own, it's probably a pretty good idea to go on beyond high school, beyond a high school diploma, and get some sort of training after high school. It could be a 4-year school, 2-year school, or vocational school, but you need to do something to improve your skills. In addition to improving your chances of getting a job, not only does education do that, but it also is a pretty sure way of making more money in your life. So if you are an individual who's concerned about making money, which most of us are, the higher your education, most likely the more you're probably going to make at your career choice. The last factor of production that we'll be talking about actually include two different things, entrepreneurship being one and technology being the other. Entrepreneurship really takes the previous three factors of production and puts them in motion. So entrepreneurship as a definition are those individuals that coordinate the production and sale of goods and services. They take risk and they commit time, energy, resources, money to businesses, to ideas, without any guarantee of a profit. And if you've ever seen the show Shark Tank, there's a primary example of entrepreneurs there. So they take land, labor, capital, and also technology, and they put them to use. And they take risks and hope that some of these things will make them a lot more wealthy in the future. So entrepreneurs are very vital for countries, for societies, for economies. And this is the one factor of production that the United States utilizes better than any other country in the world, and that's why we see so many innovations come out of the United States.